Today, we're joined by a true pioneer, from smashing records and music to building a multi-million-pound business.
He's a rapper and has collaborated with the likes of Heady One and Stormzy. Krept and Konan.
Growing up in South London, it was rough. Konan went through a really deep situation where his mum got shot and his stepdad got killed.
Carl ran out of the room trying to fight them. 2 more gunshots, everything silent.
And then at that point we was like, do we go and do music or do we go and retaliate?
2015 MOBO winners, over 1 billion streams, 1 platinum single.
So yeah, we made Young Kings and we put it out and we got a Guinness World Record for it.
Let's talk about Krept venturing into the world of business.
Nala's baby, full of natural goodness.
So we started formulating it. It took a year and a half just to formulate. We didn't focus on margins. We said we're going to build a brand, focus on the consumer. So if we can trust it for our daughter, parents are going to trust it. She gives me that driving force to do all of these things. I literally just vision my daughter and I wake up and I just get to it.
Hi, I'm Abbey Clancy and welcome to Exhibit A. Today, we're joined by a true pioneer, an artist who's not only dominated the UK rap scene with chart-topping success, but has also proven himself as a visionary entrepreneur. From smashing records and music to building a multi-million-pound business, Krept has set the standard for what it means to excel in multiple arenas. Let's unpack the story of this unstoppable force. Who is Krept?
Krept is a musician, part of rap duo Krept and Konan, but also, I can say now, an entrepreneur. I like saying that.
It's a good word, entrepreneur.
Yeah. I like saying that.
And you are the founder, you're the founder of Nala's.
Yes, co-founder of Nala's Baby. Baby toiletries, skin, hair care. Yeah, we can get into the story of that and how that came about. But yeah.
Okay, so growing up in South London, how did that shape who you are today?
That played a big part in who I am today. Growing up in South London, it was rough. Grew up in a gang, getting in trouble, losing a lot of friends. So I've got so many friends that are serving life sentences now, so many friends that have passed away. And seeing that and growing up around that, and that kind of being the norm, there wasn't no examples for us. And for me, I just always wanted something better for myself. Like, I always used to forward think. Like, and certain things that my friends would be doing, I'd always be like, I don't think you should do that, man.
Where do you think that came from? Because that's quite an inner strength to have.
Yeah, it is, because you're literally surrounded by violence and crime, and that is literally, probably every single one of my friends, been to jail. Do you know what I mean? And to be the person that kind of wants to
stay clever.
Yeah, just do the right thing. I've always had that in the back of my mind. And obviously you're always gonna end up being caught up in situations and problems. But at the same time, I always wanted better for myself. And I always used to kind of forward think and be that person out of my friends that would kind of do.
What did your mates think of that? Were they like, oh, you goody two shoes? Or did you feel any peer pressure to?
Because it was never a pressure thing. We're all genuinely friends and brothers, and everybody's different. Some, everybody's on their own kind of trajectory, but everyone just knows Krept's always, that's me. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'll be the one that some of my friends will come to for advice on certain things, and like, how do I do this or how do I do that? And I think that's good to have that friend that is in those space or that mentality. So yeah, I've always been that person in my friendship group.
You've openly said that your dad was in prison and how that really, inspired you to not take that path.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I know how important a father figure is. I think that's why I go so hard at being a dad now. Do you know what I mean? And the impact not having a father had on me. Do you know what I mean? Like, it was just my mum, having to see my mum struggling by herself and trying to, do well for me and my brother and do her best.
Yeah.
And not all the time she could. It's not easy, do you know what I mean? And she done well. She came home every night after work, hard work, made sure that we had food, made sure that we ate. And, there was only so much she can do, do you know what I mean? So I know how much of a difference it would have made if my dad was able to be around a bit more, do you know what I mean? And then him being in jail through my teen years. And those years are important years, do you know what I mean? That's when you grow and you learn and you kind of shapes who you are. And so, it was obviously unfortunate that my dad was in jail. But to be honest, now, like, we've got the sickest relationship. So
that's good. So
making up for lost time.
Who were your role models when you were growing up?
I didn't really have role models around me. Like I was saying before, like there wasn't really no good examples around me. Everybody was kind of doing the same thing and getting caught up. If anything, your role models were like the older guys in your area that had money and that was driving flashy cars. Do you know what I mean? And that's all, and you know exactly how they got the money. Do you know what I mean? And that's kind of as far as a role model will get in your surroundings. But I would look at, like, in terms of wanting to do more, looking at like UK artists like So Solid crew back in the day, like seeing them on television and seeing them with all their friends on the Brit Awards and doing all of this stuff was crazy to me, because I knew they was from South London, do you know what I mean? And they was a stone throw away. And it kind of gave me a bit of hope that, we can kind of make something of ourselves, even though we're coming from where we're coming from. So I would say I definitely, looked up to So Solid as a kid. I wanted to be a So Solid kid when I was little, do you know what I mean?
I used to love So Solid.
Yeah, they were just sick. Like back in the day, they were just sick. And they
Pete had Lisa Mafia on his Crouch Fest last year. She was amazing. I was like, oh my
Lisa.
God.
She's actually like my proper close friend now.
She's fabulous.
Yeah, and it's crazy because I grew up watching Lisa, and then now me and Lisa's like, do you know what I mean? She's family, so.
Talk me through when you met Konan and how you turned your hobby into your incredible career.
So how I met Konan, it was a school football match. My school played his school, and we had a lot of mutual friends as well. He was from Thornton Heath. A lot of people that went to my school was from Thornton Heath. I was from Gypsy Hill, Crystal Palace. And we had a lot of mutual, so we knew of each other. But when we played each other's schools, like there was just so much banter, and then we kind of formed a relationship from just playing football.
Yeah.
And from there, my area and his area kind of linked up when we was young, and we all just kind of started rolling together. And that's what we started off in our little gang in the area. And we was just doing music for fun. Like, it wasn't like something that we thought would ever make it in music.
So where would you do it? Like in your bedroom? What was the setup like?
Our friend Weeze, he's now known as Joe Bayer. He does Cheeky Sport.
Okay.
So he lived around the corner, and he had a little studio set up in his bedroom with like a little small microphone. And we would just record songs in his house. And me, Konan, and my other friend, Frets, but he's now Luke, he's in Disciples, which is crazy because they've got a massive song like, How Deep Is Your Love, Karen Harrison. Like, these are all people that we started with, do you know what I mean?
That's amazing.
And we just started MCing in my friend's bedroom, and we're just doing it as a hobby and as fun. And then we started feeling like there was a bit of traction, because back in the day, to send music, you have to do it through infrared, like where you have to put your phone next to each other for it to transfer over. And yeah, it was crazy. Like before, then it was Bluetooth but it used to spread. So like people used to hear it. A lot of people from our area would be like, oh, this song's sick. And it would spread around our area. And we kind of realized, like, hold on, like there's something here. Do you know what I mean? And there was a lot more of us in our group. Like, we all used to do it, but then all of our friends went jail. And then it just ended up being me and Konan left.
Wow.
And then it ended up being Krept and Konan. So people think we put that together, but it wasn't. We was just like all individual people. And then everybody ended up in jail. And then it was just me and Konan.
Because one of those mixtapes went viral, didn't it, on YouTube? Like 5 million plays. And
so after our second mixtape, we dropped a freestyle Otis over Jay-Z and Kanye West.
And you're allowed to do that? You're allowed to use their songs? You don't get to...
Yes, no, but so this is the thing. So when you put it up, it says like, do you have the rights to have promo on this song?
And you're like, yeah.
We just said yeah, because remember, we don't know anything about anything. We had no idea. This was like one of our first videos that we put on a YouTube channel. Like we had no idea, because before we would use like SBTV, Jamal Edwards, his platforms, and we would put our freestyles up through that. So this was the first time we kind of put something on our own channel. So we just said yes. And then it just literally went viral, got like 3 to 5 million views, but in like a couple of days. It was mad. And for a time like that, before things was like considered viral.
Sure.
Like that was a big deal for us. And then we went on tour with Skepta, and then while we was on tour, we just got a notification. We was meant to get paid from it. It was like, this is the day we get paid, and we was like, yeah, we're gonna get paid. And then the day we was meant to get paid, it was like, video's gone.
Oh no.
It was like, oh my God.
That's so annoying.
Yeah. But at the same time, the damage was done. It was already...
Yeah, it was out there.
Yeah, people knew about it. Started getting bookings and shows from it. So it started off as a hobby. And then, as we just started putting out more music, we started realizing like we're gaining like a little mini fan base.
Yeah.
And then we decided like, let's kind of take this a bit serious. And then Konan went through a really deep situation where his mum got shot and his stepdad got killed.
I can't believe that. That is...
Ended up homeless, like literally had nothing, and we would literally fight over the last piece of chicken because we never had no money to buy more food. Do you know what I mean? Like we literally had...
How old are you at this point?
We're like in our like 20, I'd say, about 20. And we was 20, 21, I'd say.
Was his mum okay?
Yeah, she's fine now.
Thank God.
But it was just traumatic, do you know what I mean? And she lost her husband because he got killed. And, and this was the time when we was doing music. And then at that point we was like, do we go and do music or do we go and retaliate?
Something as big and as traumatic as that, how did you both find the strength to not retaliate and go, right, we're going to focus our energy on making incredible music?
Because during that time, it's like you don't know who done it, what, like it was still like so up in the air what happened to kind of done this, and then it was like if we retaliate, we could be retaliating on the wrong people or whatever. There was so much thoughts, and then it was like, but there's this that is picking up some sort of momentum.
Yeah. If
we focus on this, like, our whole lives can change and our whole trajectory can change. And we just literally made that decision and said, you know what, let's do the positive thing.
And was that you? Was that led by you, do you think?
No, it was both of us. It was other people. It was like, there was so much different opinions, and you've got some friends that are like, no, we got to retaliate, and we've got some friends that are like, you got something going on for yourselves, and then we're kind of having it was so difficult, man. Like as you can imagine, there were so many thoughts and emotions during that time, but we obviously made the right decision and said, do you know what, let's give it a shot then, at least. And what's crazy, the next thing that we done after that went viral. Like, so if it didn't, we might have thought, I'll forget the music or whatever, but we was just like, well, let's give it one last shot. From there, it was like our whole kind of life and trajectory changed, and we was able to focus on the music. And
so you were still unsigned at this point?
Yeah. We were still unsigned. Our kind of trajectory changed, and we did have people, labels interested, but at the same time, they wasn't really looking at rap music then. So they was trying to tell us we need to do this, we need to get a girl in our group, get a singer in our group, like maybe be more like N-Dubs, get a guitarist in. And we was just like, what?
That's not us.
That's not us. Like,
how hard is it staying authentic when you have got like major
people saying, like
the heads of record labels saying you need to change.
Need to do this. Like it's hard. It's kind of difficult, but fortunately for us, we had like good people around us to guide us and tell us like, just don't listen to them. And one of those people was Skepta and Jammer, So we just went on tour with Skepta. So off the back of it, Skepta brought us on tour.
And he paid you, didn't he?
Yeah, he paid us. Like that was our first. Like we thought we was gonna go and he was gonna do it for free. We'd have done it for free. Do you know what I mean? Just for
Course.
promo. But he paid us for every show. They was even doing club appearances. He paid us for that. Like, and for us, that was a big deal. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he knew he didn't have to, but he did. Do you get what I'm saying? And he paid us. And then after the tour, him and Jammer said, you know, come and meet us, innit? Skepta was like, come to my house. So we went to his house and we was kind of explaining the situation with like the labels saying that this is what we should do and all of this stuff and just kind of speaking to him about it. And he was just like, forget all of those people.
Yeah.
He said, forget the labels, forget radio, because we were trying to get radio, TV. He was like, forget everything, forget all of those people. Focus on your fans.
Yeah.
And just make music for your fans and do it yourself. You don't need a label to do what you need to do. Do you know what I mean? And then we literally sat there and was like, you know what, you're right. And then he said, here's a radio plugger independently. You don't need a label to do this. And here's a TV plugger. Gave us the contacts. We then said, cool. We went and made our first official, like proper release of a mixtape called Young Kings. And we made that with next to nothing. Do you know what I mean? We didn't have anything at that time. We had a little bit of money that we made like our own merch to fund it so that we can pay for it and kind of fund the studio and
so that's your entrepreneurial vibes coming out there.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Built our merch to fund the music stuff. So yeah, we made Young Kings and we said we're not going to listen to any label, any radio, no one. We're going to do what we want to do.
Yeah.
And we made it and we put it out. And we got a Guinness World Record for it.
That's amazing.
The highest independent charting album ever in the UK. So that changed everything for us.
Of course. And because I know you're very passionate about opening doors for young aspiring artists, because you said there was no one to teach you. Like your career could have been a lot different if Skepta didn't step in and help, or that tape didn't go viral at stage. Like, how do you know as a young musician what to do, where to go? Who to speak to?
I think now it's a bit easier because there's a lot more examples and there's so many, you know, successful artists. But when we was coming up, there wasn't, you know, a lot of people that made it with the kind of rap music that we was trying to get through the door. Do you know what I mean? So it was hard, and they was trying to block previous artists. Like you had artists like Giggs that had massive record talking the hardest. And then, you know, you had police trying to give him problems and all of this stuff. They were trying to put a block on him. So they was making it difficult for people that was coming before us, that was opening doors for us, do you know what I mean? And you know, for us, it just felt like it was such a groundbreaking moment for us, because I'll never forget when we dropped Young Kings and we got the chart position. Like we ended up on all the playlists, TV. Everyone's like, now they're like, yeah.
But doesn't that wind you up?
It does.
Because I've been in situations where it's like, you know, going to an event, a certain designer wouldn't want to dress you because you're kind of a no one, and then all of a sudden you do things where people you've got 1 million views on something, and everyone, I'm like, no, fuck off.
Yeah, no.
You didn't want to help me at the start.
Yeah, but you know, how do you tell the radio to fuck off? Do you know?
You can't.
It's just like, oh, now you look, okay, now you see the vision. But at the same time, I get it. Like, you know, they didn't have an example of, because for them, it was like, we can't play records like Don't Waste My Time on radio. And we're like, okay. And then when it blew up, it was like, yeah, let's put it on radio. And do you know what I mean? Like, it always takes someone to break some sort of barrier down.
Of course.
And, you know, fortunately, we was able to break that barrier down that we was facing, where they didn't want to playlist certain songs.
So do you think you've contributed to how the rap industry has evolved over the years?
Yeah, I'll definitely say we've contributed, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like, you know, we're all building this big house, and I feel like we've definitely laid some bricks for, you know, the next people to come and build and continue this thing that we call the rap scene. Because at the time, you know, they wasn't really letting in multiple artists at once. It was like one at a time, do you know what I mean? Everyone had like their moments, you know. You had Chip, had and it was like Chip was the star of the show, and then, you know, you had the Tinchy Striders and Tiny Tempers, and then, you know what I'm saying, Wretch. But it was all kind, it didn't seem like there was so many people at once. It just felt like everyone was having their moments. And then when you look at it now, there's so many stars now. There's so many successful rappers and artists at the same time, and so many people's doing well, and like it's a completely different, you know, game to what it was then. And you know, I feel like us, when we did do the Young Kings thing and that kind of making labels and TV or radio see like, yo, the rap music, it can work and there is a demand for it. I think we definitely contributed to that, as well as the people that contributed before us to make us know that it was possible. Do you know what I mean? So I feel like everybody kind of, you know, took their turn at hammering the door down, and then, you know, we took our turn and made it easier for the next person, and then it's like a domino effect. And I feel like we definitely played an important role in that.
Okay, so let's talk about Krept venturing into the world of business and becoming an entrepreneur with a multi-million pound business.
Yes.
Did you ever, you know, imagine that? And where did the idea come from?
So I've always wanted to do business. Did I think that it would be in baby toiletries?
I know. From rapper to baby skincare, how did that go down with all your mates?
No, everyone's just mad proud. Like it. I think for me doing that, it made everybody realize like we can kind of do anything. You know, like it doesn't limit us on what we can do, because I feel like where we're coming from, it always feels like there's only certain avenues we can take.
Yeah.
Me going and doing baby shows you can go down any avenue.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? As long as it's authentic to you. Do you know what I mean? Like Nala's baby came about, it wasn't something where I was like, oh, I just want to start a baby skincare brand. And
Sure.
that was never the thing. And I feel like with business, you've always got to do a business that you can really vouch for, that applies to your life or relates to you in some way. Otherwise, you know,
people see through it otherwise.
Do you get what I'm saying? Yeah. So like, and that's how I've always looked at things. So I always thought, yeah, you know, when the business idea makes sense, I would do it. Do you know what I mean? And before that, you know, we opened a restaurant, and that was crazy. That was difficult, and we learned so much from that. But everything I learned from that, I was able to apply to Nala's baby.
What challenges did you face when because that was Krept and Konan?
Yeah. Challenges, like the initial challenge was our friend who we was planning to launch the business with, and he was the person doing all the back end, and you know, in terms of staffing, accounting, finance, stock, all of this stuff, just running the business. He passed away the week that we was
oh my God,
going to market and opening the restaurant. And we opened the restaurant without the person that was there with us every step of the way, and we had to learn on the spot. So people thought we was in the restaurant because of PR, and it was like, no, we have to be here because we literally have to make this work, because, you know, our friend, and we're grieving at the same time as opening this restaurant. So it was so difficult because we literally jumped in a pool and didn't know how to swim in it.
Yeah.
And we had to just try and learn on the go. And, you know, as you can imagine, our restaurant was quite big as well. It was like 2,500 square foot. So it wasn't like a small restaurant. It's a massive restaurant, massive overheads, and making sure that we can run it. And we didn't have anybody to run it. So we're running it. I'm doing payroll. I'm doing, you know, the accounting. I'm doing everybody's, you know, schedules. And
who funded all of that?
We did. We funded everything.
And did you lose it all?
We never lost it all, no, because it done well in terms of like, in our first year, we done like over £1 million and stuff. So it wasn't like a complete like, oh my God. But at the same time, we wasn't able to keep it
maintain
going
it,
because we genuinely didn't know how to do it. Do you know what I mean? And it just became way beyond what we could do. And the thing is, with a restaurant, you kind of have to be there.
You do.
You can't just leave it to people to run, because you have people stealing from the till. You have
I used to work in a restaurant.
the owner has to be there.
They have to be there.
Authority has to be
like
there.
The staff were nicking steaks.
Do you know,
paying cash, not putting it in the till, not ringing it through.
Literally, and
pouring themselves drinks at the end.
We couldn't be there because obviously we've got our careers. Do you know what I mean? So we kind of realized like you have to actually be here. And we couldn't be here, and it was so much, and it was trying to balance it. Like I lost so much weight, I was ill all the time. Like it started taking a toll, and it was like people would say to me like, "But you've got a great business and a great concept, and you know, it's a gold mine, and you're just gonna throw it away." And it was just like, this isn't worth the stress, and you know, the amount of effort that we had to put and pour into this restaurant to keep it going. It just wasn't worth it. It wasn't worth the mental.
No.
For me, like it just.
But how
wasn't.
did you find the strength to say, right, we're calling it quits?
We just had that conversation with ourselves and
Because that's hard to do if you know something could be really good.
That was the problem that we was facing. Because even during lockdown, like, we was like, oh my God, like our whole restaurant was about the vibe. Like people would come there, we would have events on Sunday, and like everything was about being there. So when COVID happened, it was just like, but then it was the voices of, but you've done so well with it, don't throw it away now. So we kept it going throughout COVID, and then, you know, when we came out of COVID, we kept it going, and then we was just like, this is impossible to maintain this and doing what we're doing with our careers and our life in general. It's just impossible. Like we couldn't physically. I wish I could be two people at once, but I couldn't.
And did you have your baby at this point as well?
Yeah, so
it's like managing a music career, being a dad,
and then I've just
running
become
a restaurant.
dad, and like I was thinking, like I won't be able to put the effort I want to put into my daughter.
Yeah,
like there was just so many factors that it just didn't feel like it was worth continuing for us. Do you know what I mean? So we sat down, but at the same time, like what we learned from it
was invaluable.
Like, I would actually not even take it back.
Yeah,
like everything that I learned from that was literally everything I was able to put into.
What did you learn?
Baby, in terms of team, staffing, even the best way to fund something so you can really, you know, do things on a high level, like instead of just, you know,
putting your own money and get investors
the whole way yourself. There's ways to partner up with people to, do you know what I mean? Like partnerships and teamwork is the main thing that I learned with when it comes to running a business, and who is involved in the business to help this business actually do well, to take the stress away, having, you know, experienced people in specific fields. Like we were focusing on hiring waiters when we should have been focusing on hiring an operations manager, someone that, you know, can create our booklet of how we want to scale and franchise it, for example, and someone that's done that before. We were just focusing on, we need a new waiter, we need a new chef, we need and that wasn't the way to kind of go about it. It was like getting people in that just know how to run an operation and have a future vision for something, rather than just you're all fighting for your lives in
day to day,
and proper forward thinking. So I learned that was like the biggest lesson in terms of doing that. And even the funding side of it, like, you know, we could have gone about it in a much different way, partnered with someone, got proper funding, proper you know, and even down to, we picked the location. It wasn't the best location that we picked. We could have, you know, had someone that had a bit of experience.
Go here. This is an up and coming area.
Exactly. Like, and you know, this is where the best rates are, and there's so much we could have done, but we just didn't. But I learned that from that.
Yeah.
And I was able to apply that to Nala's Baby. So when people think Nala's Baby is flying, it's because all of that stuff that I learned, I literally applied it to Nala's Baby.
So where did the idea for Nala's Baby come from?
So Nala's mum, Sasha, was pregnant with Nala, and she just became like really conscious of stuff that she was putting on her skin.
Yeah.
And stuff that she was eating.
Yeah.
She heard like loads of horror stories, you know, what you eat and put in your skin, it could seep into
of course,
and all of this stuff. So,
I was a nightmare for all that.
Yeah, so she was in the house whipping up her own, you know, shea butters, and the house was just full of different concoctions of things that she was making and saying, I'm not putting any of this on my skin. And then when we would get like gifts from people for when Nala was born, they would send like loads of products, skincare products, hair care products. And someone said to us, like, you need to look into this app. It's called Think Dirty and Yucca.
Oh, I've got Yucca.
Yeah. So
I drive my family mad with that.
So imagine getting loads of gifts and we're putting all of these
on a brand new baby
into the Yucca app, and and the Think Dirty app, and it's saying pour. Everything's pouring. We're
know.
like, these are all in the shelf, in the supermarkets and in the
It's
grocers.
terrible.
I was
Because
like,
people are more conscious about what they eat, I
Yes,
think.
they are.
But you forget about what you actually
putting
put on
your skin,
your body.
yeah. And that stuff seeps.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So we, as you can imagine, all the gifts that we're getting are from all these brands.
Put them in the bin.
And we're just like, we're not using none of this. I'm not using any of these products. And we're looking at the ingredients and, you know, what they can cause. And
Yeah.
like, we're just like, there's no way I'm putting any of these brands on my daughter when she's born. So that stemmed the idea of, why don't we create our own one that we can trust? So if we can trust it for our daughter, parents are going to trust it.
Yeah.
So that was when we was like, the light bulb moment said, let's do it. Because we was like, why doesn't it exist? Why is there not a product range where every single product's excellent?
Yeah.
Didn't exist. And we was like, we're going to make that product.
So how did the process start? So, because obviously you're not making it all in your kitchen.
No.
You...
So this is where we was just like, if we're going to do this, we're going to do this properly. And,
Yeah.
you know, of course, we've never done this before, innit? But at the same time, we know how much care and love we're going to put into this thing. So it was about research. Everything was just about research. We're researching every single ingredient that's in all of these products. The do's, the don'ts, you know, products with mineral oils, you know, sulfates, synthetics, and all of this stuff, and finding out what all of these ingredients are, and finding out all the good, clean, natural alternatives. And then it was about, okay, we need to formulate this range. Do you know what I mean? And there was someone that I had a relationship with. We was cool. We spoke about doing some other business stuff, but they've had business previously in the sector of supermarkets and stuff. So I went to them and I was like, look, I've got this idea. There's a massive gap for it. Like, what are you saying? Do you think you can help me on it? And they was like, it's crazy because I literally met a manufacturer that does this stuff.
Wow.
And they have their own lab, everything.
Time and again?
Again. And they just met them like a couple of weeks prior to me asking. And so if I asked a couple of weeks prior, they would have been like, no, I don't know anyone. And then, so we've spoke to this manufacturer to say, like, we've got this idea. And they was like, yeah, let's do it, kind of thing. So we started formulating it. It took 1.5 years just to formulate, just because we were so fussy with the ingredients. So like, they would send samples, we'll go through the ingredients, we're like, no, not this one, not this one, not this one. And then it was even down to the point where there was like a stumbling block that we had where they were saying, you know, for your ingredients to a product to foam for your bath products,
you have to have this. And you're like,
and we was like, there must be an alternative. There was like, you need a synthetic ingredient for it to foam.
Yeah.
And it was like, just hold fire. I'm not proving it. Like, we're gonna go and do our own research. Then we went and found something called a collegia plant that is a natural foaming agent.
Oh wow.
We went back to them and was like, we found an ingredient that's a natural foaming agent. And then they was just like, no, these guys are very serious about what they're putting in this product. Because we said we want every single product to rate excellent on these apps and, you know, score 0 and Think Dirty excellent on Yucca. It was like, we're not compromising.
Yeah,
like,
non-negotiable.
I don't care how long it takes, and how eager we are to get this out. I'm not compromising on the ingredients and the products, because that is what's going to carry this brand.
Are you the first brand in the UK to achieve this?
Yeah, well, not that I can't. I haven't found. I even put it to the test the other day. I said, if anyone can find me a baby range that every product rates 0 or every product rates excellent, and people was throwing at me, then I'd repost and say, nope. There wasn't one.
That's incredible, isn't it?
There wasn't one. I couldn't find them. I'm not saying there isn't, because there might be one in the deep corners of the earth somewhere in the country. But in general, there isn't.
How do they go about the shelf life of these things then? Because do they go off?
Yeah, everything's got a sell-by date, but then you need a preservative in there. So there's clean.
But you can have a natural one.
You can have clean, natural, alternative preservatives than the ones that they usually use. So that's why, like, our products will be like 99%, because we would have that 1% for preservative. But
such
then
a
you
clever
need a preservative
idea
in order to stop bacteria and fungus growing and all that stuff. So it's actually beneficial to have it in some capacity and to give it shelf life. So we just made it to the absolute best you can possibly formulate a product, or you know what I mean. So that was like our real main focus for a year and a half. Anyone else would have probably been like, this is taking too long.
Yeah.
But this was in lockdown, so we had all the time in the world
Yeah.
to make.
Here's me making banana bread and you're creating a multi-million pound business. I'm doing Joe Wicks like kangaroo jump with the kid. I wish I would have been doing that.
Yeah, nah. So yeah, in the real world, that probably would have taken us 4 or 5 years to formulate. But we had all the time in the world that lockdown.
Fab.
So a year and a half, and then when we took it to Boots and we said, look, what we've
They went
created,
crazy.
They just got it straight away. They understood it. They was like, there clearly is, you know, a product that is needed and a brand that is, there's a gap for it because it doesn't exist. So we said, we're going to be that brand. And we wanted to create a brand like that parents can just trust. So, you know, everything that we're going to bring out, everything that we've been bringing out, it's all been the same, all excellent, 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 excellent. We are not, you know, compromising on anything that we bring to market. Do you know what I mean? So we want to be that brand that parents can trust and that, you know, appeals to all kids. Like, do you know what I mean? Like from different skin types, you know, different backgrounds, different hair types. Like we're making a brand for everyone. Do you know what I mean?
And this sounds expensive though to do.
It was.
So how did you go about that? Because I read somewhere that like Marcus Rashford is a investor.
Yeah, he is. So before we got investors, we spent probably about £250,000 developing it. Just putting money into testing, to perfecting the product, because for one, and at that point we didn't even know how much it was going to cost to really do this. We were just focusing on just building the product and getting the product. So we're, you know, spending tens of thousands just building and building and building this product. And then once we finally got it, and once we got the listing with Boots, and then we found out this is how much Boots are going to be ordering, and all of it, we was like, okay, this is really expensive to run. This is a real cash flow heavy business. So the best way to do it where you don't feel limited, because I want to compete and I want everyone to know about this brand. So it's not like I wanted to come in and start small. We're starting in Boots. I want to compete with the biggest brands. You know what I mean? So I said, if I want to do this, and learning from my last business, if I get investment, I can actually stand the chance of competing and actually market this properly and actually compete. Do you know what I mean? So that's when we was like, all right, if we're going to do this, let's go and get investment and really give this thing a shot and compete.
But what does that mean, giving control away?
No. So we done just angel investment, which is individuals investing in. So just utilizing people that are new and network, and asking people who they knew if anyone's interested in investing in businesses, and just really networking and finding people that, you know, are willing to invest in business. And I didn't ask for investment until we got Boots, until the concept was there and there was a real shot at the market. So, you know, I wouldn't have asked for investment to develop the product and develop the idea. I would put that money in so people know that I believe in what I'm putting my money in.
Sure.
And I got it to a point where you can see that there's a viable route to market here. So that's when I asked for the investment. And then
similar to like your music career, really. Yeah, because obviously this has cost hundreds of £1,000s to, you know, bring to the product. But you wanted this to be accessible to everyone. Everyone's baby. Children should have Nala's baby. That's important to you.
Yeah, 100%. Because, you know, everything that's good for you is always expensive, I feel like. So I kind of wanted to break that kind of barrier down and make something that, even though you had people in our ears saying, no, you should sell it for way more. Like, look at the other products that have similar ingredients. They're going for like £30, £40. And we was like, no, we're going to make a product and make the price point as accessible as possible. Make something that's good for an accessible price point, because everything that's good for you is always expensive. We don't want to be that brand. We want to be similar prices to other brands in our field, but we are just 10 times better and cleaner and more natural. And that was the whole ethos. And there is a risk, because with that, it's about volume. And you have to do volume for that to work. Otherwise...
How many bottles do you sell a year?
Yeah, no, I think our first year we probably sold about 500,000 bottles.
Oh my God.
And then in our second year, probably done about 1 million, close to 800,000 bottles. And then I think this year we're probably going to do probably like 1.5 million bottles or something.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Congrats.
It's great, thank you.
It's great.
It's crazy.
Great.
But our point was it kind of manifested and people understood what we done. Do you know what I mean? And we got the support from parents, and we're getting the support from parents where they've seen that this product, like the actual price point of what anybody's selling products at this level, it's just, you know, you're 20, 30 pounds. But we had made it, you know, £5.50, $5 for a bottle. Do you know what I mean? So we tried to make this
breaking down a lot of barriers with this product, which is great.
Definitely, man. And it's just forward thinking and thinking about the consumer. This whole brand, we focused on the consumer and parents. Like, we didn't focus on margins. We didn't focus on any of that. We said we're going to build a brand that focus on the consumer first, put the consumers first. And, you know, hopefully they understand the big risk that we've taken with this, and in terms of putting it at this low price point for the ingredients that you're getting and the product that you're getting, and making it as accessible as possible. And it has proven to work. Do you know what I mean? So
sorry to ask, but obviously then you split up with your baby's mom. How is co-parenting and running a business together?
No, we're cool because you know what it is? We put our daughter first before anything. Like, we've always done that, even from the moment we broke up. Every decision that we've made, regardless of feelings or emotions or any of that, we just put our daughter first. So any decision that we make, we just think, what would be best for Nala? And we make our decision based on that. So, you know, when you
she's a gorgeous baby.
Nala, she's big now. She's a big woman. I don't know who she thinks she is right now.
I've got two of them. Girls are hard.
They are. She's needy. But I love it because, do you know what I mean? Like,
she looks identical to you, doesn't she?
That's what everyone says.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She does. She's very cute.
She looks like my baby pictures. When I look back at my baby pictures, I'm like,
anyone wanting to start their own business, what advice would you give to them?
I have like a few like at the top of my like to-do list for anyone that wants to start a business. My first one would be networking. I think it's so important to network. Like, in any room that you're in, when there's loads of people in there, my thing is finding out who's who does what do you do. It's just introducing myself, because you never know how that could align with you, you know, later down or in the future. Do you know what I mean? Like, for example, if the person that I went to start Nala's baby with didn't network with someone that does skincare, even though it's nothing they was doing at the time, they wouldn't have been able to, do you know what I mean? So you never know what is going to be your trajectory of life. So I just think like networking and finding out who's who is like my number one, because my network has been what's helped me with my success. And I'm not even talking about celebrity network. I'm talking about just networking with individuals that do great things or that are in different spaces, different markets. And that's what I believe in, like networking. Like, I'll go into a room and find out who runs this place, or who's the person behind this place, and then introducing myself to that person, because you just never know. Do you know what I mean? And I think you just can't be afraid to network. I know it's hard for probably people that are a bit more introverted, but I would say like just step out of that and network, even if you feel like you're getting imposter syndrome. Because I felt like I've had imposter syndrome so many times. Like, but at the same time, that's how you should feel. And if you don't feel that, that means you're not in
it can be a driving force, can't it, as well?
Yeah, definitely. So I would say that your team, like your team is so important when it comes to running a business. Don't try to be the jack of all trades and I'm going to try and run this business by myself. Like, if you're not good at certain things, get people in that are good at that so you can focus on what you are good at. Identifying your weaknesses, I think, takes a lot, because some people, you know, they just feel like I want to do everything. But no, if you're not good at that, don't go and focus your energy trying to do that. Get someone in that can partner up with people. Don't try and own 100% of something if you can't. Do you know what I mean? If you can,
if it'll be to the detriment of whatever it is you're trying to
do you know what I mean? Like, would you rather own, 50% of a multi-million pound company or 100% of nothing? Do you know what I mean? So I would always say your team, get people in, partner up with people, and really like go for it with your team of people. And that has changed everything for me. Like, it was so important, me identifying what I'm good at, what I'm not good at, what I do have, who I have around me, and their strengths and their weaknesses, and identifying what I don't have, and then trying to get those people. So when I went and found my advisors for my business, like, to a lot of people, it's like, why you need advisors for a business? And it was like, you just need people that have done this before, know how to do it, that can help guide you to run a successful business. And if that means giving a little bit of equity away to do that,
Sure.
I'm going to do it. And I did that, and I got the best advisory board that I could ask for. They literally came and transformed my whole business. Like, said, you need to find this person, that person, you need to do this, we need to do this, and these are the margins, and these is how you go about it. And like, it was just everything that changed my business for me. So I would definitely say team. Like, I just feel like I want to build the Avengers, like, when it comes to business, and any business that I do, it's just about who am I doing it with, who are you partnering with, and who your team is.
So I know it's very important to you giving back and making the music industry more accessible for aspiring artists. And, you know, you've done the rap game, which I'm a huge fan of.
Thank you.
Me and Pete watch that in bed. Yeah, so talk me through this.
Coming where we're coming from, like, you don't really have a lot of opportunities. And I always just think about my younger me and, like, what I would have been able to do or avoid if I had people that offered opportunities for me, or, you know, was giving back in some way. So I truly value giving back. And, you know, if you're able to change even one person's life with giving something back, like, why would you not, kind of thing. And, you know, we set up Positive Direction Foundation, where we went back to the schools where we grew up in, and we started giving out, like, mentorship. So we were teaching them how to, you know, record music, songwrite, you know, make album covers, artworks, and whatever creative space that, you know, we had access to. And we would get people from our industry, so songwriters that we knew, like graphic designers that have done big album covers, and, you know, engineers, producers that have made massive hit records, to come down and all kind of give back to
that is
these
amazing.
kids. And I wanted to do it after school hours as well, because, you know, after school, this is where you can get into trouble. And get up to no good. So we thought after school hours would be perfect time to do this, to give them something to do and actually teach them stuff. So being able to do that and utilize my network to do that, it's like, if I can, why wouldn't I do that?
I don't know you get the time to do all these things.
You find the team, right? The right team, the right people that can help manage all of this stuff is what I would say. And even when we did the restaurant, like, I don't believe in throwing the food away. That, you know, at the end of the day, like, we'll go and bag it all up and go and give it out to all the homeless people in the local area. Do you know what I mean? Like, why would you throw away all of this food? Like, it just, that kind of stuff just
I hate
doesn't
waste.
sit right with
Doesn't with me.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? And, like, even now with Nala's baby, like, we give to so many baby banks and, you know, parents that might not be able to afford toiletries. So we will just go and just give it to them.
My husband went to this homeless charity thing the other day, and they said, like, there's a huge, like, the main cause of people going to A&E now is with tooth decay, because people are struggling so much with poverty that they're not even buying toothpaste.
Do you know what I mean?
Isn't that?
That's crazy.
It's even give me goosebumps saying it. It's like, how horrific is that?
That's crazy. So if you're in a position to help people to do things, simple things like that, why wouldn't you? Like,
I know.
I could never be running a multi-million-pound business doing toiletries and not give back to parents and thousands of parents around the country. I just couldn't do it.
No, I couldn't.
It just doesn't sit right with me. Do you know what I mean? Like, and I've always been that. No matter what it is that I do, whether it's music, giving back to kids that want to get into this, whether it's, you know, toiletries and I'm giving back to parents, whether it's restaurant, we're giving back food. Like, I'm always going to do that.
It's just in your nature.
Yeah, you're just always going to do that.
That's so lovely. So Young Kings 2 and Young Kings is your first album. You've come full circle, and because you went from an independent artist and you're now an independent artist again.
Yeah, full circle.
Full circle.
Yeah, it's crazy. You know, Young Kings changed our life, do you know what I mean? And we was independent. And since then, that was 2013. So, 12 years ago, like we're talking about.
That's a long career.
It's a long time. Yeah, long career. A lot of people, don't get to do this
No.
kind of stuff. So for us, being independent again, after being in our label deal for, 8-9 years, to come out of our deal and still be where we are and then be able to do Young Kings too. And it just feels like a whole full circle moment. You know what I mean? So much has happened since then. So much growth's happened.
Yeah.
Since when we did that, do you know what I mean? To now, like had kids, started businesses, lost loved ones, like just life has just happened at full speed. And, now it's like it's a representation of where we're at now. So like, we have records where we're having fun and, that represents the fun side. We've also got records that are a lot more serious, a lot more deeper. Like I've written a letter to my daughter.
I love that.
Which is crazy.
Because it was so funny because when I listened, because I got a little sneak peek of that before the album was out. And I felt like that's what I say to my Sophia. Like it's so important to find her people who like big you up and are like, oh, you're great at tennis. That's amazing. I want to come and watch it. Not like, ugh, why are you playing tennis?
Exactly.
You're such a geek. It's like find your people and don't let their bitterness cause any resentment in you. So therefore you act the same way to other people. Be kind. I was like, this is what I say to everything in this song is what I say to my daughter. It's absolutely loved that one.
Thank you. Yeah, it was so important to me, man. Like, because you never know, anything can happen and God forbid something happens to me. I just want something there that she can just listen to, some words of wisdom from her dad that she can always just resonate with. Do you know what I mean? So, and these are things that I think are really important that I just
I feel emotional.
She might not think about it now or, during her young years, but you need to think about this. Do you know what I mean? And recognize the people that are going to be there for you, recognize the people that are not going to be there for you. Like imagine someone told us that, we would have avoided so much.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But I want to be able to tell her that, and I want to be that dad to her, man. That that is just everything. This is my dad.
As being a dad changed who you are, and you changed your perspective.
Yeah, 100%.
on life.
It has 100%. Like it kind of felt like it gave me a purpose because you're always chasing success. You're chasing the next thing, and then it's like, what's it for? And then when I had my daughter, it was like, oh. This is what I'm doing this for. Like, and I'd give everything to my daughter. Do you know?
Of course.
So everything I'm doing now and why I'm so hungry and why I'm doing all of these things, it is because of my daughter. Do you know what I mean? And she gives me that kind of driving force to do all of these things. Because people always think like, you've gone from this, you're doing this, how you doing? And I just, what keeps you going? And I'm just like, I literally just vision my daughter and I wake up and I just get to it, like literally. So, yeah.
Yeah, back to like your youth and you coming this full circle. Was it a hard album to write? Was it an emotional journey?
It was hard because
it's like, look where we've come,
Yeah, like because we've been writing this album and so much has happened. So we changed the album about 3-4 times because things just kept happening. And it was just like, we need to talk about this. Do you know what I mean? Like, how can I have an album and not be talking about how I'm feeling about my daughter and writing a song to my daughter, or how Conan's feeling when his dad not being here. Do you know what I mean? Like and we go through these different emotions, so we always kind of need to document it, and we're reaching different milestones, and it's like we need to talk about that, and so it's difficult in a way because you're trying to put everything that's happening into it, but then so much just keeps happening. So it's like you're constantly chasing your tail. But yeah, the process of writing it's fun. Like I enjoy writing music. I'm always writing like in my spare time. If I'm on a flight somewhere or I'm in my car by myself, I'll just keep.
Are you a pen and paper, or are you writing it in your phone?
I do it on my phone.
Oh God,
I used to write pen and paper back in the day, but technology's got hold of me, I guess.
Yeah, I can't write notes on my phone. I have to write it on a pad.
Yeah, I know.
I'm terrible.
I have to. It has to be on my phone. It's easier to store as well.
So what is next? You've got the album out. Presumably you're going to be going on tour.
Yeah, we do.
We're going to come and watch you.
Are you going to come?
We'll come. Definitely come.
We're going to be on the alternate So I'd love for you to come down.
I'd love to.
Yeah.
And so what's next?
More businesses and, you know, just more milestones and growing my current businesses that I'm doing now, you know, and just getting back to enjoying music. Because, you know, when you're in a label, it's like you're just thinking about, oh, you need to do this, a song like this, and you want to, and it's all about that. But now it's just about, I just want to enjoy doing music. Like, no, there's no pressure on it.
So why did the decision come to leave the label?
Because you just do not, like, firstly, the deal, like, wasn't good. We signed a deal in 2013 before streaming services.
Okay.
So our deal was based on...
So it didn't make
that.
sense now.
It just, so much has happened, so much has changed. It just didn't make sense. And they understood and they kind of, you know, let us say, okay, we'll let you lot go, do you know what I mean? Like, and we get it. Do you know what I mean? Like, we've been with them for years. We've never complained about our deal. We never complained about our situation. Even though our deal wasn't great and, you know, we made so much more come from it. And that made us so hungry because we was like, we're in a shit deal.
Yeah, got to do something else.
We're going to go and do all this other stuff, and we put so much focus into our live shows, our performances, like flying, making a stage fly and doing all of this stuff to add value into our live experiences and, you know, doing TV, radio and all of this other stuff that we've done. It's made us hungry, business and all of this stuff. If we was maybe in a better deal, we might not have been as hungry as we was to do all this other stuff. So at the same time, would I change that? Might not, because that made me who I am today. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm someone, I just never look at anything as like, oh, I'm not going to sit and dwell on anything.
Don't victimize yourself.
Yeah, I just say, this is the situation, this has happened. I'm going to learn from it and I'm never going to end up in that situation again. And I'm going to go and continue my life and do great things. Because I don't think anything can stop me from being great. Me signing a bad deal, does that mean I can't go and be a sick TV presenter? Does that mean we can't go and make a sick radio show? Does that mean we can't go and build an amazing business? It doesn't stop all of that other stuff. So I'm not going to sit and cry over spilt milk. I'm just going to go and get it done. And that's always been my mentality with everything. If I find myself in an unfortunate situation, I just think of a solution.
Yeah.
I don't want to be that person that sits and dwell on the negative things, because that happens to all of us. We're always going to go through things. Things are always going to happen. We're always going to face hurdles. But what makes you different from other people is how do you overcome that?
Yeah.
Are you going to be the person to sit and dwell in it? Or are you going to be the person to get up and keep it moving and try and, you know, move forward with your life? And I'm that person. So, yeah.
Luckily, because a lot aren't.
I know. But I would always encourage people to you know,
do the same.
Understand that we all go through things, we all make mistakes, we all go through rough patches, we all face hurdles. Like, that is normal. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't want everyone to think that I'm saying that. I've gone through the worst things. We've gone through so much horrible things. And some people, how did you get through that? And we just tunnel vision, like, all right, this has happened, we can't change it.
Yeah.
Let's keep it moving. And how can we better our situation?
Better your situation by building your own supermarket, maybe. Talk me through that.
I like that one. How'd
you do that?
Yeah. Building a supermarket is like, yeah, that even now I'm just like, how's this even happened? But at the same time, for us, it was just like, again, when it comes to shopping for, you know, Black and Asian ethnic minorities, a lot of the time we got to buy shopping separately. Like, some people got to get your halal meat from here. You got to go and get your hair products from this shop. You want to go and get certain vegetables and whatever. You got to go to the market here. And it was just like, and then they have a little aisle in like a Tesco's or a Sainsbury's. There might be an aisle and it's small, but it's very limited to what you can get. So it was just like, you know, why don't we make a modern supermarket where we can put all of this stuff in one place so people can go and get their meats that they want to get. They can go and get your vegetables, your plantains. You can go and get the hair products that you need. You can go, you know what I'm saying, get the normal stuff that you need, like in general, you know, your household goods, you know, bakery, like
that is so
everything.
amazing.
Do you know what I mean? And it was just like putting both worlds
together
and, you know, making something that just had a bit more accessibility for people that have to go to loads of different places to get loads of different specific things. And we just put it in one place.
So where is this supermarket?
Beddington Lane, Croydon.
not too far from it. It takes me about 37 minutes.
Oh, is it?
Because I was in Croydon the other day at the toy shop.
Well, obviously we grew up and we was always there for our youth and stuff. And our business partner, Kesa, he's from there as well. We're all grew up in the same place. And, you know, he's doing amazing things with Smacks. Like, he's got multiple Smacks stores now. And they're growing at a massive rate. And, you know, two people from the same place partnering together to launch, you know, a business is just like, I think a must, you know what I mean? If there's anybody that you know that's doing well and you're doing well, and you just need to get together and create something. And we've just thought this was the perfect thing to do, do you know what I mean?
What's it called, the shop?
Yeah, so it's called Saveways. So, you know, even we're doing wholesale there so people can go and buy stuff in bulk and Spigs, 2 floors.
Oh my God.
Trolleys, everything.
Looking back at everything you've accomplished, what legacy do you want to leave?
For me, legacy is just, I want to be someone that, you know, for future generations can look at and say, like, this person came from this place and was able to build this, and, you know, things that long live me, like outlive me, sorry. You know, things that when Nala's got kids and she can pick up a Nala's baby bottle and, you know, it's now this massive brand, and, you know, this is leaving all of this for future generations to be like, that was my great-great-granddad or whatever it is. And, you know, just leaving something, and then also leaving stuff for other people to inspire to and give people hope, like coming from where we're coming from. Do you know what I mean? If a kid from South London, you know, can do this, then so can I, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we started with absolutely nothing. Like, so there was no handouts, we never had no help, and we built what we built. And I just want people to just kind of see that and just feel like I can do it too. Yeah. And if I
definitely, I feel very motivated listening to you today.
Thank you.
I'm going to go home and be like, what can I do? Genuinely, you are incredible.
Thank you.
And you're definitely going to leave an incredible legacy because you've targeted every single sector there is. So you're going to be fine. But thank you so much for this chat, and good luck with the album. And I'll see you at the gig or in your supermarket.
Yes. Thank you.